Good evening. I'm going to call the December 13th, 2022 regular meeting of the Town Board to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Present.
Councilmember Delarada. Absent. Councilmember McPartlin.
Here.
Councilmember Brennan.
Here.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We wish to respectfully acknowledge that Niskayuna is on the traditional lands of the Kanikihaka and the Mohikanac peoples, past and present, and we honor with gratitude the land itself and the peoples who have stewarded this land throughout generations. May I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from November 17th, 2022, regular town board meeting?
Motion to approve the minutes from November 17th, 2022.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any changes to those minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Okay, I will be moving a little bit out of order this evening by starting with our two ceremonial resolutions that are on the agenda this evening. I'm going to call it that. Yes. I'm all set. Thank you. Okay. So Jessica Brennan and I are honored to put forward this resolution, the ceremonial resolution, which recognizes and celebrates the Niskayuna football team. I want to thank them and congratulate them for their hard work, their tenacity, and their athletic excellence this season. We would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the coaches, the managers, and of course, the parents, your families, who help make this reality come true. Because in the end, it's really not about the stats, and it's not about the awards or the prestige. It's about the relationships that you have built to make this team, to make it a family. It's about overcoming adversity as an individual and also as a collective. And most importantly, it's about the memories from your experiences that you overcame adversity and you achieved excellence. And you did this as individuals and you did this as a team. And as these memories that you will draw upon, that you must draw upon as you face future challenges on and off the field. So with that said, I will now read the ceremonial resolution. The following resolution was offered by Supervisor Puccioni, who moved its adoption, and seconded by Councilmember Jessica Brennan. Be it enacted by the Town Board of the Town of Niskayuna as follows. Whereas on December 20, 2022, Niskayuna High School varsity football closed out a record-breaking season, fueled by the hard work and dedication of the student athletes, coaches, and managers. Whereas the 2022 Niskayuna High School varsity football team finished the season with a program record of 10-3 and were division champions. And whereas for the first time in history, the Niskayuna High School football program, the members of the 2022 Niskayuna High School varsity football team were the Section 2 Class A champions and also achieved another first in the program history, winning the state regional championships. Congratulations. Now, therefore, be it resolved on this day, the 13th day of December in 2022, in recognition of the Niskayuna High School varsity football team's record of extraordinary success, the Niskayuna Town Board offers its personal commendations and applauds the student athletes, coaches, managers, and families for their hard work and accomplishments. Congratulations. I'd like to invite the coaches up to the podium, and they are welcome to say a few words, and then we'll bring all the players up to the front. Absolutely. You can call.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys come up too. Come on. Come on.
Oh, that helps run too.
No, you don't want that.
That's okay. I'm not that loud, but.
I know, whatever.
First off, I'd like to thank the town board for honoring our team and coaching staff this evening, as well as Evan Boyle on his accomplishments for his life and career and future. And I thought the swimmers were going to be here as well, but on the Niskayuna swimmers reaching states. This group started with an excellent off season. During the season, they grew every week, every day. We got better. They learned to deal with adversity, and they built together as a family. A lot of things that she mentioned. I would like to thank the student body, administration, parents, community, and alumni throughout the country for their support throughout the season. I believe this season has helped set the tone for the rest of the school year, whether it's in athletics, arts, or the community as a whole. And on behalf of the coaching staff and your Section 2 champs and regional champs, state semifinalists, we'd like to thank the board for recognizing us tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, you want the picture?
Just the little town supervisor.
There we go. Look at the ball. All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Judge Slayton.
I'll just be. Good job, team.
Okay. We also have another ceremonial resolution this evening. And again, Jessica and I are very excited to put forward this ceremonial resolution, which honors Evan Boyle for his athletic excellence in cycling. Sure, you can come up and join me, Evan. So, full disclosure, I have known Evan for a few years now. My son played soccer with Evan. Evan is a talented athlete in a variety of sports, soccer, swimming. And if memory serves me right, I believe you came to cycling while you were rehabbing a high ankle sprain that you got while playing soccer, right?
Yeah.
And I know that injury because Michael had it too.
Yeah.
So while I was commiserating with his parents, I got to know Evan and got to know his story. And our kids he played together with my son. And what really inspired me about Evan's story was his commitment to training in an individual sport that was not affiliated with school, because it takes an extra type of commitment, because you're your own team in a way, right? And I've seen Evan cycling all around the Capital Region, and actually far outside of the Capital Region, up to Lake George and sometimes down close to West Point, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
Mike told me all about it.
Yeah. Lots of journeys.
Yeah. So it's really not uncommon for a cyclist of Evan's ability to travel at speeds greater than 30 miles per hour, which is exhilarating and also very dangerous. And as a mom, I cringe when I hear the stories, but I know that you are brave and courageous, and you have embraced cycling and excelled in it. And I've watched your career. So, as someone who recently has taken up cycling, and trust me, I'm not a very good cyclist, I do know how exhilarating it is to fly down a hill, and also quite dangerous. And Evan has had an extraordinary career already in his only 18 years of life. And so I just want to acknowledge your success, your fearlessness in the face of challenges, and your ability to exceed. I want to wish you continued success in all of your future endeavors. And now I will go ahead and read the ceremonial resolution into the record. So the following resolution was offered by Supervisor Puccioni, who moved its adoption, and seconded by Councilmember Jessica Brennan. Be it enacted by the Town Board of the Town of Niskayuna as follows. Whereas Niskayuna High School student Evan Boyle has accomplished international success as a cyclist, and whereas this July, Mr. Boyle, representing Team USA, won one of the 7 stages of the Nations Cup Tour de Abitibi in Quebec. He was chosen as a replacement rider following his extremely strong performance at the U.S. National Championship. Mr. Boyle received the Mayor's Sprint Award for his success in Stage 2 and 7, and captured the 10-kilometer Stage 3 time trial with a winning time of 12:59.56, averaging approximately 31 miles per hour. Incredible. Mr. Boyle placed 8th overall for 7 stages, totaling 400 miles of racing, and in doing so, overcame a significant crash. And whereas, as a result of his success at the National Cup, Mr. Boyle was also invited to race in the International Alp Adria Tour in Austria, where he won the overall tour and time trial stage. He also won the blue jersey on the Queen stage of the Junior Vuelta in Spain. Now, therefore, be it resolved on this 13th day of December in 2022, in recognition of Mr. Boyle's record of extraordinary success, the town board offers its personal commendations and applauds Evan Boyle for his hard work and accomplishments. Congratulations, Evan.
Do I shake everyone's hand now?
What'd you say?
Do I shake everyone's hand now?
Yes, that's a good idea. And then we'll take a picture.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Regale us a tale. Would you like the?
I'll take it for a brief moment.
Okay.
To spare my mom some headaches, I'm not going to be telling any stories about my crashes. I was going faster than I told her, and I crashed into a back of a car going very fast. Thank you.
Okay. That was exciting and positive. Now we'll move on to our committee reports. Yes, we will.
My
we will
report is not
be-
boring.
We will not be offended. Although, of course, you can stay to watch local government in action. Thanks, John. Okay, moving on to committee reports. We'll go ahead and start with police and public safety.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Our Police and Public Safety Committee was held on December 1st at 3:30. For operations, we discussed how Detective John Connors will be assigned to participate on a part-time basis on the Schenectady Street Crimes Task Force. This is the model that will help us multiply our force, help us prevent crime, and also respond more immediately and thoroughly to crimes in Niskayuna. We are continuing to engage in our community proactively with our proactive community contact model. Our officers are having friendly discussions and conversations daily with our neighbors and friends. Overnight parking enforcement is ongoing, and there's no road parking so that the plows can get by this winter. For fleet and equipment, we will be utilizing AT&T for our GPS. It refreshes more accurately and has a better platform for vehicle maintenance and reports. Motorola delivered our new dash cameras for the body-worn camera system. IT is working to get the tech ready for deployment, and we're looking to get the software by February or March to install that and then provide training for our officers. For training, Recruit Taro continues to do well in the academy. We'll be conducting our department-wide annual defensive tactics training this month. It's a requirement as we aim for accreditation. Thank you to Chris Henry for organizing this and instructing it. Officer Munger and Sergeant Henry went to TASER instructor training in Troy on the 2nd. Officer Chase attended field officer training, and Officer Munger will be attending standard field sobriety training. For citizen correspondence, we've had an ongoing issue that Mike Casella brought to us. He asked us to look into making the area between the bike path and the river at Lions Park a no parking zone so that emergency water rescues can access the area without issue. And our attorney Finnan worked with the state, and we found that we can do this as we have a land agreement and with the canal and the town property. So we'll be putting up the no parking sign. Lance Hunt requested a stop sign at Cayuga and Algonquin. Data and roadway theory showed that it should be a yield sign there, so we will have a public hearing in January on that. Tricia Cornwell of Morgan Ave has concerns with speeding and volume, and we're collecting data on this for for that, for her. For town events, our Niskuna Police Department teamed up with Fire District 1 and hosted the second annual Santa is Coming to Town parade that benefited the Niskuna School District adoptive family. This was a special day, and thank you to all the volunteers who went above and beyond to put this on. It was raining, but you wouldn't know because everyone was smiling and pretty excited. And that's all we have for tonight, and our next committee meeting will be January 5th at 3:30.
Thank you, Councilmember Brennan. Moving on to community programs.
Thank you, Supervisor. The Community Programs Committee met on December 1st. Lori Peretti reported that our Toys for Tots collection will be ending, or has ended now, on the Friday following the tree lighting ceremony. Because of everyone's generosity, we were able to fill 6 boxes this year, which is amazing. Speaking of generosity, it has also been amazing to see all of the things of my very own gift tags being distributed. So far this year, we've handed out over 900 wish tags, and bags of donations continue to come in. It's incredible, and I think it's a true example of what our community is. Speaking of the tree lighting ceremony, hundreds of people gathered at the gazebo last Friday night to listen to the Niskuna High School choir sing holiday carols. Councilmember McPartlin, Town Clerk Michelle Martinelli, and I served hot chocolate, and it was nice to see the town come together to welcome the holiday season. And of course, as always, thank you to the Niskuna Community Foundation for sponsoring and always being a part of our events. Ski Club registration has officially closed. We have 55 registrants, and we look forward to starting the 6-week season on January 6th. At the Senior Center, our holiday entertainment program is underway. Last Thursday, we enjoyed a performance by the Niskuna High School Choir. This afternoon, Dana Carroll joined us to play the dulcimer. And on Thursday, we'll be wrapping up these holiday musical performances with Melanie, who will play the flute. The center's 2023 Proctor's trips have been announced. Tickets are now available for Ain't Too Proud on May 25th and Lion King on August 10th. The price includes transportation to and from the center on our brand new bus, and anyone who's interested should call the center as soon as possible to reserve their space. Our Gershon's lunch program, exercise program, and book club continues, and menus and calendars, as always, are available on the town website. Our next meeting will be on Thursday, January 5th at 3 p.m. in the Schaefer Room. Of course, the public is always invited to attend. And on behalf of the Community Programs Department, I wish everyone happy holidays and a happy new year. Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you, Councilmember Moskowitz. Moving on to Public Works.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Public Works met on December 1st. Transportation, Highway Department, they're the first portion of our meeting. At our meeting with our Highway Department, we discussed that we are still looking for some people in our Parks Department. We've been advertising. We have 2 positions available, and we've got a nice crowd here tonight. So I'm just going to put that out to all of you. If anybody knows someone that might be interested, we are looking for some employees here at the town. So please pass the word. Our parks crew, and actually at our meeting, believe it or not, we were discussing leaves, but we're done with that, as everyone can see, and now we're into plowing the road. So our leaf pickup this year was very successful. 8,300 yards of leaves. That's 415 10-wheel dump trucks of leaves and loose brush that we pick up in the town just this year. So I want to thank everyone in the Highway Department for their efforts in getting this done. They do a great job every year. Our Parks Department continues to work on the parks. We have to close down all of our facilities. We have bathrooms at some of the parks that have to be winterized. So we want to thank them for taking care of those things. At our meeting, we also talked about CDL licensing program. We're working on that in conjunction with our Highway Department so that all of our highway people and water and sewer people have the proper training for their CDL licensing that the state of New York is requiring. We've got a resolution here this evening for items that we use, material that we have to bid out every year. You'll see that. Also at our meeting, we had some open discussion about the lighting at Blatnick Park. We've ordered the lights that we're going to be replacing the lights at the tennis courts at Blatnick Park, and this is being funded by grant money. We've completed the work at Avon Crest Park on the tennis courts. That also was supported by grant money from Assemblyman Steck's office. And dog park upgrades are complete, and we're putting some signage, and then we're talking about putting some benches there at the dog park. So that pretty much is what we discussed with transportation and public facilities. Next in our meeting, we go into our water and sewer, and that's our Public Works Department headed by Matt Yetto. And at that portion of the meeting, we discussed some attorneys' issues with Dish Network getting on our water tower. We also discussed some issues of some residents that may have leaking water mains that go into their properties. Those are the responsibility of the property owners. The town's responsibility ends out at the street, so the water line that goes from the street to a property owner's house is that property owner's responsibility. So we work with the residents best that we can to get them to take care of that. We have some issues in certain places in town, and we were discussing that with our attorney on how to take care of that, because as the winter comes, we want to make sure we get any kind of leaks taken care of so they're not putting water on the road, because then the water freezes and creates problems. Okay, we also talked water and sewer maintenance. We're awarding some contracts for some material on some work that we're doing at those facilities. We're purchasing some auto flushing hydrants, and we too have open positions in our maintenance crew down there. So again, we got a nice crowd here tonight. Town in Niskayuna is a great place to work. Most of the employees that come here stay for a career and stay for a long time. So if you know anybody that has some skills, check on our website. We're looking for some people. We also discussed some problems that we have with our water mains on Taurus Road in that area. We've had quite a few number of breaks there, and we're working diligently to try to resolve the issues on Taurus Road. Our superintendent, Mr. Yetto, has spoken to some residents. I also have spoken to some residents on that street, and we're trying very hard, because when your water gets interrupted to your house, it's not a pleasant experience, and we don't want that to happen. But sometimes these things are out of our control, and we do the best to get out there as quickly as possible. Our crews do a great job. They come out day and night, anytime, any weather, to take care of these problems. Our wastewater treatment plant, that's also on our agenda. We received our first truck of organic waste to our wastewater treatment plant this week, and happy to report that that's up and running and working very well. Our water treatment plant, that's our drinking water plant. We've got some work going on down there, so there's some resolutions for some material that we're going to be doing there. We also have a permanent promotion position to a gentleman that's in with us, Josh Walters, tonight. I'm happy to report that that's going to be on the agenda. And our next meeting is on January 5th at 8 a.m. And in closing, I just want to wish everyone a joyful, a safe, peaceful holiday season. And for any of those that celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Thank you, Councilmember McPartlin. Moving on to Economic Development, Historic Preservation, and Environmental Conservation Committee.
Thank you, Supervisor. And good evening. It was very nice at the Christmas tree lighting. That was a great event, great singing and caroling by our Niskayuna High School students. The Christmas tree looks wonderful out there. I'm sure you've all noticed it come in, and the department heads, including Lori Peretti, and our wonderful town clerk, Michelle Martinelli, did a great job on working with that, as long as with as many others. We met on December 2nd, and our committee talked about several things, as we always do, but I'll just stress a couple things tonight. And one of them is the importance of serving on the various committees within the town. Right now, we have been fortunate enough to add 3 people to our committees. Keith Frary is coming back, and I want to thank Mr. Frary for probably over a decade, certainly over a decade, if not decades, of town service on various boards and committees. He's going to come back and serve on our comprehensive plan committee. And that committee is very important. It was very important in shaping what we're doing today, including the Rivers Ledge project, including the work that we've done with Aqueducts Park to coordinate all that along the riverfront, including the various townhomes that we've had. And it's allowed us to keep our neighborhoods within character that they currently have, of course, while allowing growth, because you have to allow growth, and doing it in a smart way. And it's people that serve on the committees that direct the town into those important decisions. So Keith Ferry is one of them, and there'll be a resolution on him. There's also some people joining our tree council. Jeff Corbin, who I want to congratulate, and Vicky McKayla will be joining our Conservation Advisory Council, which is headed up by a very wonderful town volunteer, Dart Strayer, who's also involved in the Comprehensive Plan Committee and has been doing a wonderful job. So given all of that, our committee meets the next first Friday of the month, which will be January 6th at 8:30 a.m. And we hope that anybody that is thinking about it will either tune in on our virtual showing or come to the committee meeting right here in the town hall at 8:30 on January 6th. With that, happy holidays to all, and thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember De La Rada. Now for my brief remarks. Good evening. It is an incredible privilege to make my final remarks of 2022. I've been town supervisor now for a full year, and tonight I find myself, like many of you, completely overjoyed and overcome by the season. I have to tell you that town hall is a very special place to be in December. I'd like to start here in the building because there's been a long association between town hall and the U.S. Marine Corps Toys for Tots program and the Giving Tags program for things of my very own. And what has grown here over the years is actually very magical. Our community programs department, as Councilmember Moskowitz spoke to earlier, is an integral component both to the collection of these gifts and also supplies for families. And the community programs director, Lori Peretti in particular, can be seen playing the role of Santa and Mrs. Claus and all the elves on any given day in December. I can tell you I've seen her rushing to and from town hall to her car with lots of supplies and gifts for families in need. And I can't tell you how many times residents call with requests for special tags to select gifts for children of certain ages. I have learned through our Niskayuna parents that they are so committed to supporting all the children in need through this Wish Tag program. And at the same time, they also involve their own children. It's not uncommon to see parents come to town hall and bring their children in, carrying all these gifts and supplies for families in needs. And it's an investment in the future. It's teaching our children about empathy and generosity while helping our neighbors in need. And I'm incredibly proud to say that our staff is kind and patient and always willing to go above and beyond to help. I'd also like to point out that our town hall receptionist, Dottie, she is welcoming and generous, and she embraces her role as ambassador to give those gift tag trees. Dottie knows all the stories. She knows about the grandmother who came to town hall and nervously selected a tag after studying the tree for a very long time. And then because she derives so much joy from selecting gifts for a family and child in need, that she came back the very next day for another tag. And the woman who came in to select a tag, she ended up crying as she read the tags because so many of the experiences cataloged matched her own very difficult childhood, and she did not cry alone. So, Town Hall is a really special place in December, and you may get a sense through some of these statistics because you know I like stats. Residents filled 6 gigantic boxes of toys, making this, as it has been for several years, the largest regional collection site for the Toys for Tots programs. And Town Hall also distributed nearly 900 Things of My Very Own wish tags this season, which is staggering and amazing. And it puts a cascade of resources in the hands of families and children who are in great need. But the spirit of the season is also in these stories, these anecdotes, these moments of incredible generosity and hope that gets shared in this building, particularly in December. And there are incredible ripple effects. This week, we had our annual tree lighting, and it was an event full of joy. It was crowded. It was fun. The Niskayuna Community Foundation supported us with candy canes and hot chocolate, and we are very grateful that we could showcase and enjoy the talent of our Niskayuna High School choir. The beautiful tree that was decorated in the gazebo this year is a concolor, which is a variety of white pine. And our highway department procured this tree, made it sparkle, and after the holiday, it will go back to the garage where it will be cared for and it will be tended and watered until the spring when it will get a new home in one of our parks. So I think this tradition of using a live tree for planting is a wonderful holiday tradition. And I want to thank the highway department, the community programs, and the finance department who played a role. I want to give a warm welcome to all the personnel who are joining us and who are being moved into permanent status. Congratulations. We are very lucky to have you. And I'm also excited to share that we will be swearing in a new officer this evening. So with that, I want to wish everyone a very happy holiday season, a blessed new year, and I look forward to seeing you all again in 2023. I will now call for the public hearing. Will the clerk please call the public hearing?
A public hearing regarding amendments to Chapter 139 of the Town Code of the Town of Niskayuna entitled Property Maintenance.
Thank you. The public hearing is now open.
Leslie Gold, 1919 Pawtucket Avenue. I have one small concern with this proposal. There's a portion that deals with dead vegetation, and I did not see a definition. Maybe I missed it. But my concern goes to the fact that some people will have large trees cut down and leave, 4, 5, 6 feet of it to provide habitat for certain birds that like to nest in trees. And in a few cases, actually to serve as a barrier to oncoming cars, both of which I think are perfectly good uses. And I hope they would continue to be allowed.
And the public hearing is still open for anyone who wishes to speak. Okay, seeing that no one is left to speak at the public hearing, I am now closing this public hearing, and we will move on to privilege of the floor.
I regret that my remarks will perhaps not be in the spirit, but it's something I think I wanted to bring.
Excuse
to
me,
the
sir, could you
board's
state your name and
attention.
address? Could you state your name and address? Thank
Ted
you.
Thompson, 4210 Buckingham Drive. Most of the Twin Bridges trash trucks running through our neighborhood are not safety inspected in New York. The Twin Bridges website states that they are a locally owned company. Their terminal is on Route 146 east of Northway Exit 9. However, if you look at most of their trucks, they have out-of-state licenses, even though they've been in business here for a couple of years. I spoke with a driver who formerly worked for Twin Bridges. He told me that their trucks are monitored by GPS and that the drivers are forbidden to go beyond exit 9 of the Northway. Please note that just beyond exit 9 is a rest area, often used by New York State DOT and the state police for truck inspection. I also called a friend, a former truck inspector. He said that he had no personal knowledge of Twin Bridges, but that they were subject to federal inspection, which is largely paperwork, and that perhaps Niskayuna did not have a lot of leverage in terms of regulating these trucks. Even so, I wanted to bring this to the attention of Niskayuna Police, Niskayuna Highway, and this board. Full disclosure, I pay my trash bill to a rival company, and I retired from New York State DOT 16 years ago. Separate subject. I wrote the supervisor on August 23rd regarding the Horizon fiber optic project. I asked for information regarding the town's right-of-way over residential property and a record of the decision of this board to approve the project. I'm still waiting for a response. Thank you for your time and attention.
Good evening. I'm Gregory Deacon. I live at 26 Covington Court, just down there off River Road. I'm here with my neighbour, Jerry Trant. And we just wanted to come this evening to thank Dr. Puccioni for meeting with us on December the 5th. And we met to discuss the town's intentions with potentially acquiring the Mohawk River State Park from New York State. Our Covington Court neighborhood is interested in participating in any discussions pertaining to this transfer of ownership. Covington Court neighbors have a vested interest in this matter because many are active users of the park, and pretty much all of the properties, if not all of them, back onto the Mohawk River State Park land. We are, and we were and are delighted to find that your vision and approach are aligned with our primary objective to ensure the park remains as originally intended, forever wild. It should remain an undeveloped park suitable for passive recreation and at no point be partially or wholly sold for private or commercial use. We also would like to have input in changes made to the park in the future. This includes participating in trail maintenance, as well as having a voice in any of the town's plans to modify the land. And I might mention that our neighbor Alexis was out with Josh Bennett with chainsaws, chopping up a couple of trees on Saturday. And they had a fine time, but it's also a service. The Covington Court neighborhood is interested in safeguarding the natural state of the land, and we encourage the town of Niskayuna to prioritize sustainable changes which have minimal impact to the environment. In addition, the Covington Court neighborhood would like to ensure New York State Department of Environmental Conservation guidelines are followed with respect to limiting large group sizes to 15 people and requiring park visitors to respect the DEC's common sense rules to protect public safety and sensitive plants and wildlife. This includes promoting sustainable use through Leave No Trace to help visitors understand how their actions affect the park and how they can protect it. So we appreciate your time and consideration and look forward to working with you all in the future. There are copies if you would like. I'll just leave them over there.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak during privilege of the floor? All right. Seeing no one else, we will now move on to resolutions. Starting with
No, no.
Okay. Starting with resolution number 2022-304, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni and Councilmember Brennan. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution recognizing the Niskuna High School varsity football team.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-305, sponsored by Councilmember Brennan and Supervisor Puccioni. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution recognizing Evan Boyle for his international success as a cyclist.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-306, sponsored by Councilmember McPartlin. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution permanently appointing a water and sewer maintenance worker.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Just want to welcome Marcus to the town as a town employee, and hopefully that he'll be here for a long time like many of our employees are, and that he finished his probationary period. Good job. Now he's permanent.
Yes. I'd also like to say congratulations. Whenever you visit Town Hall, you're always a pleasure to see and a pleasure to speak to. I know you're incredibly hardworking and you're valued by the team. And so I'm excited for us to vote on this resolution on your behalf tonight. All right, seeing no other discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-307, sponsored by Councilmember Brennan. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution appointing a police officer for the Niskuna Police Department.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I'd like to just welcome Derek Breslin to the department. He's a longtime community member. He and his family are, devoted citizens. I've seen them in action. They even came to the Santa Parade to help us kick off the big start, to kind of watch everything and help out in any way. So Derek's jumped in with 2 feet already, and we're excited to have him.
I would also like to add that I had a great opportunity to speak with Mr. Breslin during the interview process and afterwards, and I was impressed with his knowledge of policing, with his commitment to our community, and his excitement to become a member of our department. I look forward to his years of service, and again, I think he's going to be a great fit in our team. Okay. Seeing no other discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. We will now swear in Mr. Breslin.
Please place your hand on the Bible. I, Derek Breslin, do solemnly swear
I, Derek Breslin, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of police officer
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of a police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right, great job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Be a record number for attendance for a police officer for a whole evening.
Maybe it'll be a lot quieter.
Good to see you. Yeah. Sure.
Now, that's a nice way to end the year. All right, moving on. Resolution number 2022-308, sponsored by Councilmember De La Rada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution appointing a person to the Tree Council.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-309, sponsored by Councilmember McPartlin. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution accepting and awarding bids for materials for the 2023 season for the town's highway and water and sewer departments.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-310, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing certain budgetary modifications.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-311, sponsored by Councilmember De La Rada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution appointing a member to the 2023 Comprehensive Development Plan Committee.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-312, sponsored by Councilmember McPartlin. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing the renewal of a contract for utility billing software in the Water and Sewer Department.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Oh,
Who was the second on that one?
Bill.
That was mine.
And it's Bill's
I can't do
Oh,
that.
resolution. We didn't need a another second.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. Resolution number 2022- 313, sponsored by Councilmember Brennan. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution permanently appointing 2 police officers.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I'd like to say this is regarding Shaquille Hemmerding and David Powell. They've been an excellent addition to our force. Their community engagement has been noticed by people internally. We get correspondence from citizens and neighbors externally. They're a big hit. Everyone loves talking with them and their community engagement. So I'm very excited to have this resolution tonight.
Agreed. I was excited to bring Shaquille and David over to our police department. They are lateral transfers. They have become great members of our team. And as you were saying, they are engaged in the community. They are at our town community events, and they're always, a pleasure to work with. So I'm really excited to be voting on this resolution tonight. Is there any other discussion?
I've had the opportunity to see both officers on calls in my neighborhood. And from a distance, standing back and just watching, I thought their public service and community interaction was excellent. And both residents said something to me in the following days about how professional they were. So congratulations to both of them.
Thank you so much. Is there any other discussion? All right, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-314, sponsored by Councilmember De La Rada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution appointing members to the Conservation Advisory Council.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Just on the first sheet, it's got yourself and
Yeah.
Councilman Delarada on there.
Oh,
There was a change that was made once we added.
another name. Okay,
I just want to make sure that's okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
fine.
thank you.
thank you, Councilmember McPartlin. Is there any discussion?
Just briefly, Supervisor, as mentioned in my committee report, this is one of 3 committees where we have had a member appointed. So that's very good news. And I believe 4 people, because the 2 people were appointed to the Tree Council, Keith Ferry and Aaron Cassidy Doran. And this appointment, I believe, will not fill up that board, but it is very good to have Miss Vicky Michaela, as well as all the other volunteers that join these. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So with that said, let's go ahead and have the clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-315, sponsored by Councilmember McPartlin. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing the repair of a water main leak at the town's water treatment plant.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-316, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution accepting a SAMS grant for improvements at various town parks.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? I would just like to thank Assembly Member Phil Steck for helping us receive these additional funds through the SAM grant. This is another $250,000 grant that we received as a town through Assembly Member Steck's office, and in collaboration with Councilmember McPartlin and our department heads, Superintendent of Highway Ray Smith, Community Programs Department Head Lori Peretti, our town planner, Laura Robertson, and also our superintendent of water and sewer, Matt Yetto, we have identified projects in town that will be improved with these funds, some of which will include improvements to Lions Park and the deck around the train station. We're looking to improve that to make it more accessible and also user-friendly. We're also looking to make improvements to the River Road Park by adding some additional parking, a new pavilion, as well as a new play structure. And we're looking into having a inclusive play structure that will meet the needs of diverse children in our town and our community. We will also be making improvements to Fieldstone Park, the trail system there, to again improve accessibility and make it more user-friendly. And then finally, some additional parking at Avon Crest Park to go along with the other improvements that were made this year. So we are working really hard to maximize those dollars and to make many improvements throughout the town to address all of our community members' needs, from our children all the way to our seniors. So is there any other discussion? All right, then let's go ahead and have the clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-318, sponsored by Councilmember McPartlin. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution
quick.
permanently appointing a chief plant operator.
317.
What did I say?
318.
Sure did.
But she said it right, so go ahead.
Thank you. Is there, do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Josh is here. You're in about the middle. It wasn't the last one, Josh. I know it's been a long evening, but thank you for coming. Thank you for staying. But as I spoke to earlier about us looking for employees in the town, this is a great place to work. And, you know, we have individuals like Josh Walters who come to our town, who start working with us, and now he's our chief plant operator at our water department. And that is a very big job. And these are individuals that work behind the scenes. We don't see them, we don't hear about them, but they do great things for this town. He's been a very valued employee of this town, and I just am very happy to see this permanent appointment. And thank you for all you've done for the town.
I would like to add, Josh is incredibly knowledgeable. He is an excellent employee. He's a pleasure to work with. When I first came on as town supervisor, I took a tour of the water treatment facility, and I was geeking out because of all the science and the engineering, and Josh was there answering all of my questions. And then every time he visits town hall, he's just got a big smile on his face. He's so professional and he loves his job. And I love that. And I'm so excited for you to be moving into this position permanently, because we're lucky to have you. And I know that because there are people who were recruiting him, trying to steal him away. And I was like, no, please, you cannot leave. Okay. We need you. And I'm so thankful that you decided to stay and that we are voting to permanently appoint you this evening. So thank you so much. Is there any other discussion?
I was going to say almost the exact same thing the supervisor said. When I took office earlier this year, I went down with Superintendent Matt Yetto for a tour of the water plant. And Josh was very accommodating and knowledgeable. So I appreciate that. And thank you. Congratulations.
All right. With that said, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes.
5 ayes.
The resolution passes. You shall not go anywhere. Got you. All right.
But you can leave tonight.
Yeah, but you can leave tonight. In fact, you can leave now and we will not be offended, I promise. Resolution number 2022-318, sponsored by Councilmember McPartlin. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution authorizing a fence easement agreement.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-319, sponsored by Councilmember De La Rada. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution enacting a local law to amend Chapter 139 of the Code of the Town of Niskuna entitled Property Maintenance as
Thank-
pertains to vacant building registration.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-320, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution approving the purchase of computers.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-322, sponsored by, I'm sorry, 321,
321.
sponsored by Councilmember Brennan. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution calling for a public hearing on proposed local law F 2022 to amend the traffic, vehicle and traffic code of the town of Niskuna to provide the installation of a yield sign.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I'd like to thank Officer Munger for his ability. He looked into this, he did the data analysis, he researched, and we came to a resolution that everyone felt comfortable with. So thank you to Officer Munger for that.
Thank you. All right, seeing no further discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-322, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni.
A resolution approving the new controlled substance and alcohol testing policy.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-323, sponsored by Councilmember Brennan. Will the clerk please read?
A resolution approving a memorandum of agreement with the PBA to enter into a new collective bargaining agreement.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I just wanted to thank the PBA, the Comptroller's Office, Attorney Finnan, Supervisor Puccioni, everyone working together to find a contract that was mutually beneficial to both our union members and to our taxpayers. And I think these efforts are going to move our police department forward for the next 5 years. We can all work together as a team. So thank you to everyone involved.
Is there any other discussion? All right, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Resolution number 2022-324, sponsored by Supervisor Puccioni. Will the clerk please read?
I'll need it. A resolution adopting the salary schedule for non-representative employees for 2023.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moskowitz.
Yes.
Councilmember Delarada.
Aye.
Councilmember McPartlin.
Aye.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes.
Supervisor Puccioni.
Yes,
5 ayes.
the resolution passes. Okay, everyone, that's all we have on tonight's agenda. At this time, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. We stand adjourned. and we will see you next year in 2023.